a timeout.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Kenny, and welcome to ESPN Classic's Top 5 Reasons You Can't Blame, a series that takes a fresh look at sports personalities who are remembered largely for their mistakes, controversial moments, or questionable decisions. The month of February conjures up certain images and traditions. Groundhog Day, Valentine's cards, cold weather for much of the country. Since 1964, Sports Illustrated has provided its readers with an antidote to winter with its annual swimsuit issue. It all began with a mere 4 pages. But over the past decade, the insert has blossomed into its own issue, a DVD, an internet page. Every February, there are the pertinent questions. What do swimsuits, and admittedly very small swimsuits, have to do with sports journalism? What role does the mainstream magazine have in objectifying and degrading women? Before we count down the top 5 reasons you can't blame Sports Illustrated for publishing its swimsuit issue, let's examine how it's become a divisive part of Americana.
I've always looked at Sports Illustrated as being the Bible of sports.
It was the first real sports magazine that I truly respected. It had great stories, great illustrations, great pictures.
There's a long drive. Ball's it deep.
A little country boy coming from Alabama, and here you are on Sports Illustrated. It made me feel like I had finally arrived.
Sports Illustrated was always at the cutting edge of what was important in our world. They have done consistently, in my mind, for 50 years, the best sports telling in the business.
Like the series on exploitation of the black athlete, the series on women in sport, which ran at a time when it was by and large felt that women shouldn't sweat, saying nothing of compete.
Sports Illustrated was the one outlet that would stand tall and always do the right thing.
Founded by Time Inc. in 1954, the Sports Weekly struggled for a decade before turning a profit. Then in 1964, SI unveiled its first swimsuit issue. Suddenly, sports wasn't the only coverage some readers looked forward to.
Oh man, it was like Christmas. I think that was the one issue that we always looked forward to getting.
I used to cut out pictures when I was a kid. I used to put them on the wall. I used to piss off my parents, and then all of a sudden I was like, goodbye, Dick Butkus. Hello, Cheryl Teagues. It was great.
We're on. Oh, pardon the interruption. I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, the articles in the swimsuit issue, just spectacular.
I'm Tony Kornheiser, and remember, Mike, if that feeling lasts more than 4 hours, seek medical help immediately.
When I'm traveling around, what do you do for a living? I write for Sports Illustrated. The first word out of people's mouths is swimsuit. That's the power of the brand.
It's one of the things that makes America great is that we can have an issue like this.
It's part of American pop culture. It's been around forever.
It's fun, it's whimsical, it's an American tradition.
The swimsuit edition is Americana.
It's nice, it's self-contained, and you can look at the wife and go, they put it in the mailbox. What do you want me to do, not read it? It's journalism.
But to some, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue was not only inappropriate, it was downright sinful.
It has nothing to do with the reason that I get Sports Illustrated, which is to read about sports.
I don't think swimsuit modeling has anything to do with athletics, except maybe if they ask her to run from point A to point B and then flick her head at the same time.
It's a crass ploy by the magazine to basically pimp Sports Illustrated.
They would never be allowed to get away with it when it had to do with other types of discriminatory practices. But when it comes to women and sexualizing them, it's not a problem, and the common defense is it's because sex sells.
The numbers are revealing. Of the more than 500 issues published by SI in the 1990s, women were featured on just 35 covers, 10 of which showed swimsuit models.
I'd rather see athletes on the cover of Sports Illustrated than have all this focus devoted to models wearing skimpy swimsuits.
They can do a better job of covering women's sports. I think that's a big issue.
Even up until now, you still don't see a lot of women on the cover, actually, do you?
It's very sad because our women deserve a place in the most popular magazine in the country.
It is hard to cover women's sports on one hand and say, yes, we believe in you as athletes. And then they go, yeah? Well, how come you're objectifying women with painted on swimsuits?
That's not what I signed up for when I wanted a sports magazine. I didn't say, I want 51 sports magazines and one issue of Swank. That's not the deal I cut.
52 weeks a year, it rails against sexism in sports, and yet they have that one special issue where it's softcore porn.
Each year it does get a little bit racier, and I think at some point they're just gonna have just naked women in that magazine, because how much farther can they really go?
Well, I think for little girls it says that when you grow up you'll be valued more for taking your clothes off than for excelling on the playing field.
You've just seen why Sports Illustrated is blamed for its controversial swimsuit issue. Before we give you the top 5 reasons why you can't blame SI, here are some reasons which just missed the cut. We call them the best of the rest. Just say no. If a reader takes offense at SI's swimsuit issue, there's a simple remedy. Avert your eyes when passing the newsstand, or request that edition not be delivered to your home.
You can have a swimsuit-free subscription to Sports Illustrated. So people didn't want to get it, didn't get it.
I can't imagine people opting out of getting the swimsuit issue, to tell you the truth.
In 2005, less than 1% of the magazine's 3.2 million subscribers made such a request.
You have a choice to either get it or not. If you get it, don't criticize it.
Our other best of the rest. It's relatively tame by today's standards. In an age where the boundaries of taste have been pushed, SI's swimsuit issue seems within accepted limits.
Today, it's no longer shocking compared to what's out there.
Now we have this proliferation of whatever you want to call it, soft porn or whatever, and I actually believe that it has enhanced the stature of Sports Illustrated.
Considering what's on the internet nowadays and DVDs, and there's more stuff to complain about than the swimsuit issue.
At the end of the day, too, we're talking about beautiful girls in pretty places in cute suits. I mean, it's not that bad.
Reason number 5, the letters. In the weeks following its swimsuit issue, SI is flooded with readers' commentary expressing every view, from gratitude to disgust.
Oh, we got angry letters from mothers of teenage boys. I don't want my son looking at that. From nuns who were saying, we should not be doing this, it's porno.
Dear Sports Illustrated, nudity is more destructive to our youth than an atom bomb. Okay.
I'm not sure why people write letters. I'm not even good about writing my politician.
My copy was burned immediately and the subscription will cease. Wow.
I've been a subscriber to Sports Illustrated for 30 years. I'm canceling. Did you not get the edition the previous 30 years?
Despite the occasional street protest outside SI's editorial offices in New York, most responses are favorable.
Dear Sports Illustrated, is there an 800 number I can call to receive some of the unwanted copies?
The latest swimsuit edition was perfect. Thank you.
Kids at Annapolis and West Point loved it. Got lots of those letters.
I get a lot of letters from prison with my swimsuit photos. I swear.
It means that people are paying attention to it, and we're putting something out there that has enough interest so that people write these letters.
They could do a magazine of all the letters and it would sell.
1 down, 4 to go. Here is reason number 4. Athletes. Besides models, athletes, both male and female, have been integrated into the swimsuit issue in recent years.
We now have athletes and their wives, male athletes and, buff guys without their shirts on, giving the ladies equal time.
Now it's not just scantily clad models. It sort of legitimizes it a little bit.
I'm not going to blame SI for anything. It's like the most obvious marriage I've ever seen. It's like a beer commercial at a football game.
The idea of using a male in a bathing suit was put into motion in 1991.
I felt that it's probably time for men to make an appearance. And the person we decided to choose was Magic Johnson, who was at the height of his popularity. So we made all the arrangements. But one day, I came back to my office and learned that Magic Johnson had called a press conference.
Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers.
So those plans were scuttled, and it was another 4 years before men appeared in the swimsuit issue.
Finally, after 3 decades of exclusion, males were in the swimsuit issue. Now athletes of both sexes appear in the annual issue.
Athletes have great bodies, and what a great way to exploit in the swimsuit edition.
That was great. That was great. And, you know, I wonder why they didn't choose me again.
So few athletes get to be in it, and it's such a great opportunity.
To have an opportunity to model for SI swimsuit, to me, is an honor. And it's something that I've always wanted to do my whole career.
These female athletes are trying to say, you know, look, we're athletes, but we're still feminine.
For me especially, I'm wearing a big jersey and shorts and shin guards. I'm practically covered up from head to toe. It's an opportunity to be seen in a different light.
See athletes displaying their talents is a beautiful thing, man. You can't be mad at the swimsuit edition.
It does bring in the athletic and the sports aspect of it. So it was a wonderful experience, and I love the idea.
Here's reason number 3. It's the Super Bowl of modeling. Appearing in the SI swimsuit issue often results in fame and fortune.
This is the Super Bowl, the Academy Awards. This is it all for those models.
There's only a few that get picked, and I think it's, for them, it's a huge competition for being on the cover to, you know, how many pictures you have in the magazine. It's very competitive.
The names of models who I would never have known, I know because I read the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Issue.
It can help a girl toward becoming a supermodel.
Over the years, the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Issue has helped launch some of the biggest names in modeling. Among them, Christy Brinkley, Elle Macpherson, Kathy Ireland, Heidi Klum, Tyra Banks. In 1978, Cheryl Tiegs did wonders to create the era of the supermodel.
Cheryl Tiegs in the waterfall with the mesh suit that showed more than my devoutly Catholic mother could quite bear.
I mean, obviously you could see her chest through it. I mean, which was, at that point, you know, like X-rated. We didn't shoot a lot of film because no one thought anything about this picture.
It just was kind of a throwaway almost. And today, if I go out to a restaurant, there are guys hanging around with that fishnet picture for me to sign.
Cheryl became a gigantic star after that.
You say Cheryl, you know bloody well who they're talking about.
Becoming a Sports Illustrated cover girl is a dream that has become one of the great traditions in American pop culture.
The competition for the cover may have replaced Miss America.
If we'd start to complain, Julie would say to us, "This could be the cover. You need to be quiet. You can never know. This could be the cover." So we'd all be like, just shut our mouths because we'd be like, oh, we want to be in the cover.
Reporters from all around the world were trying to get in the information. Oh, are you on the cover? Are you on the cover?
They all get attention, but as the cover girl, you know, they become the superstar of the moment.
All of us benefited from Sports Illustrated. I think it helped us become more of a household name.
I got booked for Sports Illustrated, and before the issue even came out, Victoria's Secret booked me. Once you've reached that level, your career explodes.
And all the great supermodels, they feel that Sports Illustrated is a must. So if they feel that it's that important to their career, then so do I.
3 reasons down, 2 to go. Here is reason number 2. It was a perfect fit. When the swimsuit issue first hit newsstands in 1964, the sports world was in a holding pattern.
The swimsuit issue started as a diversion. The idea was it was one of the very few dead weeks in the sports calendar.
Baseball was over, football was over, basketball in those days was a niche sport.
The Super Bowl had not yet been created.
It was an excellent gimmick when it started, and it still is, and it was to sell more magazines as well as to draw more attention to Sports Illustrated.
It got started as a way to celebrate, the sun was coming, hang in there, and here's a few pretty girls in swimsuits, and you can dream about that while the snow falls.
The brainchild of SI managing editor Andre Laguerre, the swimsuit issue was intended to rouse the sports fan from his midwinter blues.
And Andre Laguerre then would go January and February, what do I put in my magazine? This is when you have to get highly creative. And all of a sudden he struck on the idea of, why not do a swimsuit issue?
So he said, why don't you go to some lovely island and put a beautiful girl on the cover and let's see what happens.
The swimsuit issue is the best idea that Sports Illustrated ever had.
That was like revolutionary. It turned people's heads. So the editor at that time says, well, I think we have something here.
To paraphrase Bob Dylan, the times were a-changin'. From the Beatles to Vietnam, from civil rights and campus strife to JFK and Martin Luther King, SI adapted with that turbulent decade.
The 60s, America began to become a much more complicated country.
With music, with the way people behaved, the sexual revolution, everything.
And that seemed to give Sports Illustrated the right in the mid-60s to say, yes, we can step across the line.
The magazine was reacting to the fact that of a more sophisticated and more difficult time.
I don't blame them for that. Editors were looking for something to fill their pages. I think that the timing was propitious for Sports Illustrated.
It sells. In 2005, the swimsuit issue generated more than $50 million in revenue for Time Inc. Its newsstand sales alone reached 1.5 million copies, 15 times the average weekly total.
How many magazines alone have been around 42 years, never mind one that comes out once a year?
It's drawn the interest of, that of a Super Bowl, that of a major event in sports.
You can't blame Sports Illustrated for putting the swimsuit issue out because, love it or hate it, everybody's talking about it.
We consider ourselves very serious journalists. The reality is, it's such a huge moneymaker. I mean, who are we kidding?
I can think of 50, very popular magazines that don't make on an annual basis what the swimsuit issue made one time a year.
You put flesh on the cover and it's gonna be hot.
I photographed Jordan, Ali, Montana, all these guys, which is good, and people like that. But the next question, do you do the swimsuit issue? And you know what? Sports doesn't even exist. Sex sells.
Of the 64 million adults who looked at the 2005 swimsuit issue, 3 times the number who read the magazine weekly, a third of them were women.
I look forward to it. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Women look at supermodels to have something to measure themselves against, right or wrong, but I think it's done.
I love to see women that are athletic and toned and just well put together. It just gives me incentives and know where I want to go. Like at the gym, I can focus.
For women, it's a way to look at the best bathing suits in the world.
In 1997, Sports Illustrated made the swimsuit edition its own special entity, apart from the weekly issue.
The first story I worked on was 8 pages and a cover. It just kept expanding until it finally became the whole issue.
I think that it became a freestanding issue because it became so huge.
You're still going to get your Red Sox results now. You're still going to get 52 weeks of SI, and now you're going to get this other issue.
22 million people can't be wrong.
So who cares if they criticize it, If there wasn't demand, they wouldn't be doing. Thank God this is America.
Why can't you blame them? Because they make a hell of a lot of money. They understand their audience. And last time I checked, the majority of males 18 to 54
like women in bikinis.
If SI stops publishing a swimsuit issue, whoever makes that decision should be put in jail.
Well, there you have it, the top 5 reasons you can't blame Sports Illustrated for its swimsuit issue. Now, we often get feedback on these programs, and let me take the time during this show especially to make a defense. There are many reasons you can, of course, blame Sports Illustrated for its printing the swimsuit issue, or Mike Tyson for losing to Buster Douglas, or Art Modell for moving the Browns. The purpose of this show, however, is to merely point out there are reasons why they should not be blamed as well. Finding the balance or lack thereof between the two is up to you. I'm Brian Kenny. Thanks for watching.